What's up, guys? Tiger Sheu with Pacific Rim Video. We have a very, very special interview. We have two of the co-writers, the director, the producer of Searching, a really great film here that premiered at the LA Asian Pacific Film Festival. Guys, congratulations.
Thank you.
Your film's getting so much buzz. Tell us about it.
So we made a movie called Searching, and basically the way I like to describe it is that Searching is a very sort of classic thriller told in a very not classic way. The classic part about it is that it's about a dad, played by Tiger Sheu, whose daughter goes missing and he attempts to find her. The not classic part about it is that the whole movie is told on the screens of all the devices that we use every day to communicate. Cell phones, tablets, laptops, anything like that. So hopefully it'll feel like a normal, like, you know, big screen theater kind of thriller at the same time being told in a way that has never been in a theater before.
Well, you know, and we're so lucky to have the co-writers here, not just the directors, not just the producers, but when you guys were writing this film, did you guys set out to do something so innovative with your techniques and how you filmed it, or is it just something that, like, hey, we figured out as we went along?
Oh man, we definitely figured it out as we went along, but what was crazy about it is that the whole thing came about because we had a meeting at a company called Basilev's, who produced and financed the film ultimately, and they had just released a movie called Unfriended that also takes place on screens, and at the time they were asking us, could you guys come up with an idea for a short film that would take place on devices? And at the time, Aneesh was writing and directing commercials at Google, so it kind of felt like a good fit for us.
Yeah, and I was much more initially attracted to the idea of doing a short film as opposed to a feature film on a computer screen, because I honestly didn't think, there was many months that went by where I was like, there's no way a good, emotional, engaging, like, not just a gimmick of a movie could be made out of a computer screens or just any devices or whatever. And originally we came up with Search. It was then called Search, not Searching, but Searching as a short film first.
8 minutes.
8 minutes long. And when we gave the idea to the production company, they were like, no, we want to make this as a feature film. We'll finance the whole thing, and you can direct it. Well, you know, it'll be your first movie. You guys can write it together, blah, blah, blah. And our initial reaction, or my initial reaction, was to say no, even though we got that offer.
We're in a room. This is like the filmmaker's dream. People like spend their whole lives waiting for this moment, just to set the scene. Aneesh, myself, a big table, a lot of fancy financiers, producers.
I bet cheese too, right? Cheese.
Oh, there's a whole mountain of cheese.
Yeah.
And they're like, guys, we're going to give you some cheese. We're going to give you quite a lot of cheese.
Yeah.
Figurative and literal.
Yeah, exactly. To make this movie. And I'm just like, oh my God. And then he's like, no.
Yeah. Well, in the moment it felt like we were taking we were stretching an idea that we had found a way in 8 minutes to make not feel like a gimmick back into a gimmick again, and make a 90-minute movie that, like, didn't deserve to exist, but they only wanted to exist because another movie was a hit. And for us, like, artistically, like, you don't want to be a part of a project that doesn't have the right motivations to be alive. You know, I think that's not setting yourself up for success in a really cool way. But when we left it, at the same time, we were like, kept talking about the enormity of that opportunity, and like, no one ever gets that as a first-time filmmaker. So we were like, okay, what would that idea be? Let's just play around with it. And we kept talking about it, couldn't figure out a way. And then one day, both of us sort of, funnily enough, like, came up with the idea for the opening scene of the movie at the exact same time, called each other about it, and we're like, whoa, that's weird. And also, in that opening scene, hopefully we had found a weird opening into the movie that all of a sudden felt emotional, felt engaging, felt thrilling, felt...
Yeah, and more than anything, our goal with this opening sequence was that once people watch the film and they see those first 5 minutes, they would just start to forget that what they're watching takes place on computer screens.
Yeah.
Like, we wanted to find a way to make people just engage with the story. And I think the fact that we, and especially Aneesh, were resistant to the idea of even taking on a film like this is probably what helped make us approach it in a way that made it appropriate for wide audiences.
Can we also ask, you know, like, from a technical standpoint, this is something so different. What were some of the challenges of, like, even telling maybe Tiger Sheu, hey, we're going to film a movie on computer screens? And what were some of the things while you were actually filming that were maybe challenges to face?
Yeah, I like to say that, like, and I like to say this, it's true. Every single person who worked on this movie had to sort of relearn aspects of their craft to make it. Like, no part of this process looked identical or even familiar to another film in any, from the production designer to the costume designer to the editors to the DP to the actors to the directing to the producers, to the writers. Every stage of it was just like, okay, so how do we do this normal, easy thing on a normal movie in this concept? So every stage of this thing was a challenge. specifically in regards to John and working with him, yeah, we're trying to sell a concept that hasn't been really executed the way we wanted to execute it before. So it's a constantly like, more than anything else, and because I'm an unknown actor, I'm an unknown director, or this is my first movie, you're just trying to sell them on the passion and the ambition and the dreams of the project, and hopefully getting them excited about the potential of what this could be, as opposed to like showing them what exists out in the real world, because nothing really does the way we wanted to make it. So it was a lot of challenges all down the board, but individually as a collective team, individually within our roles, and then together as a team, well, I think hopefully we're able to tackle them one by one.
And I think sometimes what the best thing is about film is that it does help reflect our lives, even in an artistic manner. And you guys are doing it. Our world is moving toward that technological base. So after the film has premiered, it was great last night. How do you guys feel about the reception? What are some of the feedback that you guys have been getting?
It's been awesome. Just to premiere here, or have the LA premiere here, last night was so cool. It's like there were so many people last night talking to us about how much they liked the movie, and that's like, at the end of the day, that's like what we made this movie for. We made this movie, the central conceit of it is to take these mundane objects that we use every day and make them into a cinematic movie-going experience. And to have that feedback yesterday, it was just like, okay, we did that. We worked.
From the very beginning, Searching was always developed and made to be a film that was meant to be seen with audiences. Mm-hmm. I think you'll hear people say that part of the experience of watching this film is sharing the excitement, the thrills, the twists, the turns, the laughs, honestly, the happy parts, the sad parts. And it's always such a pleasure for us to be sitting in the middle of that audience, and especially right after the movie's over. And just
staring at everyone's reactions as they have it. We're just like always.
If you're ever in a screening where we happen to be there, sorry in advance, because we're going to be like looking at you guys the whole time.
Move the left index finger at this part.
All right, guys. Well, speaking of a shared experience, other than you guys, looking at it, how do we share this experience of your film? How do we follow the film? Where's it going to go in this festival? Where's it going to go beyond? How can we support it?
So the movie comes out in theaters across the country on August 3rd. It's #SearchingMovie if you want to support. I think at this point, the coolest thing about it, and all we ask, I think, is that if you liked it or just talk about it, it comes out in August, and support it then. That's I think the way.
And we're online at Searching Movie on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and especially as time goes on, we're going to be releasing a lot of really cool content leading up to the premiere. We're super excited for people to see the interesting ways that we and the people that we're working with have we've come up with some pretty inventive ways to get the word out, so we can't wait for people to see that.
And so are we. Yeah. Well, I was going to say, if you guys didn't have a hashtag, I was like, man,